This pattern may be from 1935, but its classic style makes an elegant piece that would go in today's wardrobe. Hi, thanks for joining Chain Reaction Yarns. I'm Jess, and today I'm reviewing this garden party hat from a book from 1935. Yes, it's a little far back. This book is called Paris Sponsors Crochet by the Spool Cotton Company and is number 66. The book was originally shared with me to get a pair of gloves that you can see I have not made yet. However, I did make this hat. The pattern's also easily accessible on Free Vintage Crochet, and the link is in the description below. Or you can buy the physical pattern on Amazon or eBay, secondhand, of course. This pattern was way out of my wheelhouse. Like, I really was up for the challenge this week, but we made a whirl of it. Now, this pattern has some quirks to it. Not all the steps are spelled out. Only in the beginning, the pattern says to change the hook size, but it's implied to change each time you switch stitch type. The pattern also will say to increase 20 times around evenly instead of the exact numbers. The pattern does go by measurements, so you need to write down the stitch count as you go so you can do the math when you come across these rows. Since it is done in measurements, it can ultimately be done with any desired yarn weight, but the pattern does use a 5 cotton thread, so I wouldn't go too big, but there is still plenty of wiggle room. Let's talk about hooks. I originally only had the standard size hooks. You can see here, these ones range from a 10 millimeter all the way down to a 3.75. However, because we're using lace weight yarn, you need something a lot smaller. Insert steel hooks. Now these super tiny hooks can range from 2.7 millimeter all the way down to a 0.5 millimeter. That's really tiny. Now these steel hooks actually do their numbers backwards. So a number 3 steel hook is actually a bigger size in millimeters than, say, a number 5 steel hook. With any patterns produced in earlier times, we also have an issue where we run into different size hooks. So a modern day, say, number 5 hook is about 0.4 millimeters larger than a 0.5 millimeter hook from the 30s. Once we take all these changes and considerations in mind, we can wrap our head around these old patterns and make masterpieces. Now, this hat only took 8 to 10 hours to make, and that's wonderful considering all of these really small stitches. I bet you could even make this faster than 8 hours. I actually just split mine up between a few days because who has 8 hours a day to sit and crochet? So there are no special stitches. It uses a single crochet increase, a double crochet increase, and a slip stitch. Super simple. Where the challenge comes in, or the difficult step, is that you have to crochet over what is called millinery wire. That's what keeps this nice brim. This wire, millinery wire, is a thin wire to add support and structure to a project. It has many uses, but is widely known for hat making. A cotton or a fiber covering on the wire is common for this type of project. It is a little difficult to crochet over the wire since your biggest goal is to not bend it. It's just like any other wire in your life, a paper clip or a pipe cleaner. Once it's bent, it really can't go back to straight again. But the concept is straightforward. It's crocheting over a tail. Now, this was not the first one I made. The first one I made is this black one. I didn't have the right size hook or the right size thread or the right size wire. I used a cotton thread from the big box store. I used a 16 gauge wire, jewelry wire that they had. And I also used the aluminum hooks, which, like I said, are numbered differently. So I was inserting and using the wrong stitch for the wrong hook. Oops. I wouldn't say this is a total fail because, as pictured here, my daughters look adorable in this hat. And it did turn out to be quite a nice hat. Now, the second one that I made was this beautiful blue one. As you can see. And because it has this wire in it, you can adjust it to however you want. I love these hats because this pattern is actually super simple to do. Once you figure out how to use the wiring, it's actually a lot of fun and super easy. All in all, I really like this pattern. I learned a lot of new things and skills that didn't take long to learn. And now I have a great, wonderful church hat or Easter hat or something that I can wear to watch the Derby. Thanks and keep hooking.